Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Alright, boys, so if you guys look at the news or if you've watched any of my past videos, you guys may know that we are getting this group of 7 units that EZA. And there's certainly, I think, a few standouts of that group of 7. And I think that this guy is one of them for sure. So I kind of want to go over all of these cards in depth. And then, I'll kind of give, of course, every video, I'll give my opinion on them. So this is our guy. This is Super Heated, Super Power, Super Saiyan Goku. So there you go. Yeah. So you can see his release date right here. Now, as you can see, it's not released on global yet, but we know that it's coming on the 3rd of February. So that's already been in the news. So our boy, he is an all types leader at Ki +3, and then 70% to stats. So very nice, especially if you are a newer player. Like if you're brand spanking new, that's a really good leader skill. And considering that this EZA is weak to the Ginyu Force, there's literally no excuse for you not to be able to get this EZA done. It's so easy, right? As long as you farmed up the Ginyu Force or just extreme type in general, you should be good to go. So my point is everyone should be able to get this dude, and all of these dudes EZA'd quite easily. So anyway, also a solid leader skill for Battlefield, I might add. But his super attack is the Ki Burst Sphere, which causes supreme damage to the enemy with a great chance to stun. Remembering our vernacular, I've been mentioning it in my last few videos because it's important. This game is all about numbers, just like with any game. It's all about the RNG, whether you're playing Pokemon or Dokkan Battle or whatever. It's all about those RNGs. So, great chance is a 70% chance to stun the enemy. So that's already really nice. Now let's look at his passive. Ki 2, attack and defense plus 80%, and a high chance to perform a critical hit when HP is 50% or above. So that high chance, so he's got a 50-50 shot of performing a crit, which is already really good. So that's like physical LR Trunks. And then when he falls basically below 50% HP, he gets Ki +3, and then attack and defense 100%, and a great chance to perform a critical hit when HP is 49% or below. So at his best, he's going to be Ki 3, attack and defense 100%, 70% chance to crit, 70% chance to stun. Wow. Just wow, right? So those are obviously some really, really good abilities. So he's going to be good enough to where like you can even run him in the Legendary Goku event. Now his defense, isn't insane, but, at attack and defense 80%, it's at least good enough, and he's going to he's going to be able to do damage on all phases of that fight, and obviously that would go for Infinite Dragon Ball history as well. But that ability to completely bypass defense and get the enemy with a critical hit is so clutch in events where the enemies have high defense. And obviously lots of HP as well. So anyway, it's very, very good. And then obviously the great chance to stun the enemy is really nice for Super Battle Road. So that'll really help you out if you're struggling with some Super Battle Road stages. So his links: Golden Warrior, Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, Z Fighters, Prepared for Battle, Shattering the Limit. So I would say you're probably going to be able to link him with that Super Saiyan link most often on most of his teams. And then, so keeping in mind that I think probably his best team is, well, honestly, any of them are going to be really good for him. He's a pretty unique unit. At this point in Global, there's not a ton of just straight up Super Saiyan Gokus. There's basically Transforming Goku and this guy. So remember that Namek Goku starts off as base Goku, so you could certainly run them on the same team. But anyway, let's kind of go over the rest of him. So His key multiplier is 135%, which is low, but it's not a big deal. I mean, he's got these really high stats. There you can see the stun chance and such, right? So let's kind of go over and find his stats. So those are his fully EZA stats. That's a really nice HP stat, and that's a pretty solid attack stat. So that's our boy. That is the Super Saiyan Goku. Let's go over, and we're just gonna get right to it. I don't want to spend too much time on all of these units, so let's go to the next one. All right. So everything at stake: Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. So again, he's one of these units that right now on global, he is unique, where there's not really any other viable Super Saiyan 2 Vegetas in the game. Again, on global. So he's going to be the best one. So his leader skill is AGL, Tech, and Fizz type, key 3, and 80% of stats. So that's actually pretty good. I do like that. It gives you a little bit of versatility. You know, if you are, let's say you save him, if you're struggling in Battlefield, and let's say, you know, you die on Kid Buu, or you die on, you know, the next round of bosses, you know, Jiren or something, and you can save this guy and then use him as your leader. So that's really nice. But anyway, his super attack is the Final Impact, and that causes supreme damage to the enemy and raises attack and defense by 30% for 6 turns. So anytime you're able to stack attack and defense, even if it's for a finite amount of time, that's really good. You're going to find that specifically this guy is going to be quite good defensively. So let's go over his passive. Attack and defense, 90% at the start of the turn. Pretty good already. And then he's going to get defense 15% with each attack received up to 60%. So you guys kind of do some quick maths in your head. And that is after 4 hits, he will be fully charged up on defense, you know, in terms of his passive. So basically at the rainbow level, this dude's, you know, going to have really, really high defense. I mean, up in the 200,000s, I think, easily. So a really just overall solid unit. And then he'll be hitting, you know, for 1.5 million attack stat or so. So he's very nice, very nice. His links: Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Royal Lineage, Revival, Prepared for Battle, Shattering the Limit. So I think specifically him having that Revival link is really cool. So that'll actually make him pretty viable on that Resurrected Warriors team. His categories are Resurrected Warriors, Majin Buu Saga, Pure Saiyans, Vegeta's Family, Worthy Rivals, and Super Saiyan 2. So you can't run him right now on the Super Saiyan 2 team. So if you guys don't follow JP at all, and you're just completely in the dark, there is actually already a Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta who transforms into Majin Vegeta, who leads the category. So you wouldn't be able to run them on the same team. But all of these other teams, he's going to be really, really solid on. So let's so he's got a 135% 12 key multiplier. So this is a really handy website if you guys don't know about the Dokkan Battle Wiki. So look at this. This is some important information. So when including super attacks, his defensive buff can get to plus 477%. With an additional super attack every single turn, he can reach a maximum of defense of 751.2%. Those are real numbers, guys. So just from his passive alone, he can get up to 204%. And then if you include his super attacks, he's going to get up to 751%. And that's assuming, that's the maximum. That's assuming he gets an additional super every turn. So it might be a good idea to prioritize additionals on this guy. So there are his final sort of EZA stats at the rainbow level. So very nice. Very, very nice. So there's our boy, SS2 Vegeta. Just a defensive, just stud. But let's kind of move on and go over the rest of the units here. Okie dokie. So this is Steely Hatred Metal Cooler. Now this guy, I would say he's probably in the running, along with that SS1 Goku, as probably the best unit of this batch of units. So let's kind of go over him real quick. So he is an all types leader, so very nice already. Key 3 and 70% to stats. His super attack is the Supernova, and he's going to cause supreme damage to the enemy and massively lower defense. So remember, massively means a 100% reduction in defense. So that's really, really cool. It's a really handy ability. So even in Goku, UI Goku can have his defense lowered. So that's when you're talking about someone massively lowering defense, that's really good. His passive skill, attack and defense plus 50%, and all allies attack plus 30%, and extreme class allies key 3 and defense 40%. So let's kind of break all that down and then add it together again. So at his very worst, he's going to be attack and defense 50%, and then it's allies attack 30%. So remembering that he himself is an ally. So at his best, he's going to be he's going to be attack plus 80% and defense plus 90% in key 3. And then he's going to, of course, be providing that really nice buff. So he's going to be hitting pretty hard, and he's also providing key attack and defense to extreme class allies. And honestly, his teams are primarily villain-centric teams anyway, so most of the time you're going to be getting that full buff for your allies, so that's really good. So his links, auto regeneration, pretty typical for like metal cooler type units. Shocking speed, really good. Nightmare, really good. Strongest clan in space, really good. Thirst for conquest, really good. Fear and faith, really good. And shattering the limit is pretty good. Now, one notable exception, so just keep in mind he does not have big bad bosses, number 1. And then number 2, he shares the same name as the AGL metal cooler. So, I mean, realistically, you'd never be able to run them on the same team, unless you did some real shenanigans to try. You could run, I guess, AGL metal cooler as a leader or something and run. I don't know. It would be challenging. I guess you could probably get it done, but they wouldn't share links because they're the same character in the eyes of Dokkan. But anywho, so that is an unfortunate thing, because when we go over his categories, Resurrected Warriors, Movie Bosses, Wicked Bloodline, Artificial Life Forms, Conquest of Terror, and Target Goku. So essentially you wouldn't be able to run him on the Wicked Bloodline team, so that's a shame. But all of these other teams, it honestly probably benefits you more to bring this guy along than the AGL Metal Cooler, believe it or not. Just him being able to provide 40% defense, 3 key, attack 30%. So think of a team like, Conquest of Terror. He's providing, or Resurrected Warriors, let's say. So he's providing, an extra 3 key to a character like, LR Bojack, LR Broly. So, things like that. I mean, that's really, really clutch. And obviously he's going to make his cohorts look really good. So his 12 key multiplier is 140. That's pretty good. I'm sorry. So a massive lowering of the defense is actually 80%. So there you go. It's an 80% reduction. A massive increase, though, counts as a 100% increase. So just to be noted. Okay, so you learn something every day. So a very nice attack stat, and then a very good defensive stat as well. He's just overall like super solid. He's really, really nice. He's one of the best EZA units in the game, to be quite honest. But we actually still have a few units to cover. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so Silent Executioner Majin Buu Pure Evil. So this is our boy, Pure Evil Majin Buu. I vividly remember this scene when I was growing up. If you guys don't know the story, I started watching DBZ during the Majin Buu saga. So like, I was a little later, I guess, in life when I found out about Dragon Ball Z and all of that. But then obviously I fell in love since then. So let's go over our boy. His leader skill is Tech, Int, and STR type, Key 3, and then 80% to stats. So nice. His super attack is the Super Kamehameha, and that's going to cause supreme damage to the enemy and raise attack for 6 turns. So again, like I've mentioned, any unit that can stack attack or defense, it just provides a really nice advantage because you're getting stronger as the fight's progressing. So that's good. That's good. Not as good as an infinite stack, but still good. His passive is honestly where he kind of gets crazy. So attack and defense 90%, so solid already, right? And then all enemies attack and defense minus 20%, so a very, very nice debuff, especially for something like Super Battle Road, where that lowering of attack is so critical. And he's going to launch an addition. Okay, so that's the first part of his passive. So then the next part of his passive is he launches an additional super attack and a high chance, a 50% chance, of evading enemy's attack, including super attack, when there's a Majin Buu Saga category enemy. So basically, he is a Majin Buu Saga category Super Battle Road killer. Him being able to do all those things just makes him so good. It's kind of crazy. We'll obviously do showcases. We'll do the whole 9 yards, but him on that Majin Buu Saga team is going to be really good. Now, that would definitely... I do want to make mention, he's not going to fit in the greatest with links unless you have him directly linked up with another Majin Buu. So let's just say, I don't know, STR Fat Buu or Int Buhan or something. But, actually, that STR Fat Buu would probably be a good choice. It would get him some key spheres. But anyway, he's not going to link up with any of those Saiyan units on the Majin Buu Saga. Majin Buu is one of those wonky teams where there's not that glue that holds it together. You know what I mean? You've got Over and a Flash units. You've got Prepared for Battle units. You've got Shattering the Limit units. You've got Shocking Speed units. So it's just kind of weird. Okay, so but anyway, let's go over the rest of him. So his links are Majin, Brutal Beatdown, Kamehameha, Infinite Regeneration, Nightmare, Wall Standing Tall, Shattering the Limit. So like a good link set for like a Buu type unit. So, but his categories: Majin Buu Saga, Transformation Boost, Artificial Life Forms, and Kamehameha. So for sure he's going to be best on that Majin Buu Saga. You just have to find him the right linking partner. Actually, on JP, there are actually some really nice support units that just released through an EZA area. So a very high attack stat at 16.6. I think that's like higher than AGL Gogeta. But his 12 key multipliers is kind of low at 133, which is wacky. But as you can see, when you're stacking your attack by 50% for 6 turns, man, that shit adds up. So, but anyway, we have a couple more units to go over, so let's not waste any time. All right, so this is Tragedy Born from Power Fusion Android 13. Now this guy is completely free to play, so you can either do the extremely tedious grind on one of the quest stages. I'll have to double check what quest stage that is. I don't know it right off the top of my head. But actually after the update or after the data download or whatever it is, actually the Baba Shop updates, and we're actually able to buy 4 copies of this guy. So you really only have to do that little bit of a grind just for one of these guys. So anyway, just something to make note of, that the grind is not really too crazy for this guy anymore. Anyway, his leader skill is Fizz, STR, and Tech types, Key 3, and 60% to stats, so not bad for a free-to-play unit. His super attack is the full power SS Deadly Bomber, and he causes supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. So, man, that's alright. Not crazy or anything. His passive skill is Battle Data of 14 and 15. He's Key 4, attack and defense 80% when Key is 8 or more. So basically he's going to auto super if his Key is 8 or more, so that's cool. That's really nice. He also gets an additional attack and defense 30% when there are 3 or more androids category allies on the team. So running him on in androids or in artificial life forms is going to be definitely where this is at. I suppose target Goku though as well. No, actually probably not. Androids and artificial life forms for sure. But anyway, his links are not very good. Red Ribbon Army's trash. Android Assault is trash. Tough as Nails is trash. Metamorphosis is good. Fear and Faith is good. Shattering the Limit is good. And Nightmare is good. So, you know, I guess he's got some hits and misses. But those first, like, 4 links are... Well, first 3 links on there are just throwaway links. I mean, they're so bad. So there's his 12 key multiplier. 140 is pretty standard. And then these are his final EZA stats, so that's pretty good for a free-to-play EZA unit. So I think oftentimes you're probably not going to be running this guy unless you're running him on your like extreme tech team or something like that. But anyway, guys, we have just a couple more units to go over, so let's go over his sort of summonable counterpart. Okay. So this is Light Orb of Hatred, Fusion Android 13. So again, you're going to honestly pretty much all the time be running this guy over the free-to-play version. So let's go over him real quick. So his leader skill is one of those weird ones. It's Tech-type enemies, attack and defense minus 43%. So you could definitely do some crazy things like on the Super Battle Road. But otherwise that link's kind of trash. Or I'm sorry, that leader skill. So his super attack is the full power SS Deadly Bomber. Sounds familiar. Causes supreme damage to enemy and massively lowers defense. So again, that 80% reduction in defense is really nice. His passive is New Machine Development, and he changes Tech Key Spheres to Rainbow Key Spheres, and he's getting Key +2 in addition per Rainbow Key Sphere obtained. So we've seen that before, right? So, you know, the LR Fusions units do it, where they get 3 key per Rainbow Key Sphere, and then he's getting an attack and defense plus 50% at a minimum, and then he's getting an additional attack and defense plus 13% per android's category ally on the team. So that is up to 7, right? Because he himself is an ally. So that would be an additional 91% attack and defense. So for a total of attack and defense plus 141%. So that's very good. Very, very good. And then considering his big EZA stats as well, that'll be really nice. So his links, again, these first 3 are just horrendous. Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Tough as Nails, Metamorphosis, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Shattering the Limit. To be honest, I think it's not the card's fault. I mean, the card came out in 2017. So it's not the card's fault that the links are bad. Dokkan needs to go and update the links. I mean, straight up. It's not, like I said, it's not the unit's fault. So at least he does have some redeemable links, so it'll make him usable. But his categories, of course, are the exact same. He's obviously, with his passive, he's going to fit best on an Android's team. Now, keep in mind, on that Android's team, you have Cell, LR Int Cell. After he transforms, man, he is an absolute just key hungry monster. He's like the key, he's like hungry hippos, and he just wants to eat up, gobble up all that key. Because when he gets 8 key or more, he's getting like an additional 80% attack and defense on his passive. So it's going to be huge to have this guy on that androids team with that LR cell. And then, of course, STR cell is also key hungry. So this guy is honestly kind of essential on those teams if you're trying to build the team around LR int cell. So anyway, 12 key multiplier, a little bit low. You know, what are you going to do? He's a 3-year-old unit at this point. So a very nice HP stat and pretty, well, that's kind of a low attack stat and actually a very nice defensive stat. So anyway, guys, I believe we have one more unit to go over, the Nova Shenron. So let's go get him. So here's our boy. This is Scorching Dual Nova Shenron. Obviously, all of their release dates are the same, and we will be getting them on the 3rd. So his leader skill, Tech Type, Key +3, HP attack and defense 100%. So not bad. Not too bad at all. Obviously useful for something like Dokkan Battlefield, right? So his super attack is the Flame Shot. And this causes supreme damage to the enemy and raises attack for 6 turns. So he's raising his attack by 50% for 6 turns. That's not a bad thing for sure. So his passive is Key 3, attack and defense 90%. And Shadow Dragon Saga category allies, attack and defense 30%. Now that's very good. Now it's kind of a shame he's not giving key as well, but truthfully it's not a big deal. So number one, let's just start with this. So like he himself is attack and defense 120% because he himself is an ally. And you get him linked up with like Omega Shenron, man, he's gonna be really good for that team. So his links are Shadow Dragons, Shocking Speed, Gentleman, Cold Judgment, GT, and Shattering the Limit. So him having Shocking Speed and GT honestly is going to make him just fine on that Shadow Dragons team. So him not giving key is not the biggest deal in the world. It just would have been nice for say like the Super Saiyan 4s or something like that. So if you're running both LR Super Saiyan 4s on that team, now they're pretty self-sufficient, so it's not like the end of the world or anything. It's just you know, it just is what it is, right? So at the very least, he's got some pretty good key links there. Now he is certainly limited by his categories, as he is only on one stinking category, the Shadow Dragon Saga, which he'll be very good on. But the thing about it is, man, is it's just like, if you could have just found it in your heart, Bandai, to put him on full power, you could have linked him up with the STR Omega Shenron, and boy, oh boy, they would have been so good on that team, because STR Omega's getting his EZA quite soon on Global. So that would have been really nice, but hey, I mean, what are we supposed to do, right? So his 12 key multiplier is 135, kind of low, but, you know, not a big deal. Now that's quite a good attack stat, a good HP stat, good defensive stat. So overall, guys, all of these units are just super solid, and they're really nice additions to any team you're going to put them on. They all have such great utility. But anyway, guys, again, these guys are coming on February 3rd. Now, you know, I don't know what time zone you're in or anything, but for me, it'll be February 3rd. But if you guys, you know, if you guys like videos like this, where we're kind of looking ahead at the future of Global, go ahead and slap a like on the video, guys. It really helps support my channel. Consider subscribing if you're new. Let me know in the comments which of these units you're looking forward to most. I would say for sure I'm looking forward to that Goku most. Number one, I have him rainbowed. And number two, I really just find him, I think I would say he's the best of the bunch, but man, that int cooler, man, is just nipping right at his heels. But anyway, that's the video, guys. I love you all. Thank you for the support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.